Hi, everyone. Welcome to the One Podcast. I'm excited about our guest today. We are in the same mastermind, and I've been able to watch and listen to her for a while. Then I found out a little bit about her and instantly fell in love with her because if you know me, you know I love animals, and it's a big part of her background. What she's doing today is so fascinating because she has a magical way of helping you to connect with your purpose and then helping you to live that purpose more aligned. And I know a lot of us have struggled with that throughout different phases, trying to figure out what am I supposed to be doing with my life? And a big part of her mission is to help people to align with that. So I'm very excited to introduce you to Chantal Perrinjaquet. She has a beautiful accent. You are a soul business coach. And I think that describes you perfectly. So jump right in and tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are today.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me. Hi to everyone. I don't know where to start, actually. I'm in
Perfect.
Dubai here and fulfill my mission here. It's something I got from Spirit World a few years ago, going globally with English. And at the time, I said to God, no, take that back. Take the English back. The global, okay, but the English not for me. When we get some vision or mission the first time, it doesn't make sense. And literally in the second and third time either. It was like that. I just felt this energy and this brightness, and I have to do that. And I started to speak about that. I told it to my clients, I told it to my audience. I started to tell about Dubai, and I have actually never been there before 2017. I didn't really know what Dubai is or where it is. And then I had the chance to go there with my coach at the time. And it was like a shock, love, this energy and this tone and modernity and the heat. And it's clean and it's safe. But this pulse, and everyone is working literally every hour.
Wow.
And this was like the shock. And then I realized there is something. I feel something like I belong here. Also, the desert, the nature, it's another nature, as I know from Switzerland,
Yes.
And I mean, I have goosebumps now again. Man, I just realized, oh, okay, there is something. And I will figure it out. And a few years later now, I'm here. I sold everything I had. And I just went totally alone, actually, in this new country at my connections. And I did prepare some things so that I got the license and all the stuff, of course. But yes, and I'm here now.
You were in Switzerland, and then you get this download in your mind, an inspiration very strongly. You belong in Dubai. You didn't know anything about it. And yet your soul is saying, yes, go there. And oh, maybe I should research this place. I should learn about it. Then you actually go. It's different than you expect. And then you get the courage to follow this intuitive lead and you sell everything and move your entire life to Dubai. I
Yeah.
think most of us are afraid to even take one small intuitive nudge. Yours is literally leave home and move to a place you've never been. And it's not down the street or the next state over, it's a whole different country, and you do it. Before that in your life, had you had such large intuitive nudges? And what gave you the courage to actually do something so large?
I did things like that before, but probably this is the largest. And I always had this strong intuition, being led from a source, from God. I have an education in Christianity, and so I knew God, but I did not like to go to church, and I did not like the behavior of the people there because it was not really aligned as a child. But I always had a connection to God, and I spoke to Him. I think I'm gifted with this strong intuition leading me, and to let that be. And getting the call to go to Dubai, there were years between, and I had the time to prepare myself to go again, to visit it as a tourist and to connect with others here. And I think this is really important to do that and to get to know the culture. And for me, it was really important at the time when I did this research, I was sick since I was 14. I had cancer when I was 14.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was really lucky because the cancer was big, over 2.5 kilo in my belly. This was actually the beginning of an odyssey. Do you also say odyssey? Of
Yes, Odyssey.
odyssey of a lot of surgeries and problems with my belly and organs. And I was year for year more and more sick. And it was worse and worse for every year. And for over 30 years.
Wow.
And this was the last decade of this pain when I got to know Dubai. And one point was really important for me because this weather here was so good for me. You know, the climate in Switzerland, we get this depressive little from the fall on, wintertime, every winter, like twice a month I was sick, and I also had such a bad immune system, and I had everything you could get with bacteria and virus. And so for me, it was literally like, you must go in this other climate. This is healthy for you.
Do you think that the main reason to get you to Dubai was to improve your health? And if yes or no, what was the catalyst that really turned 30 years of this around? Because I'm sure there's people that have dealt with chronic pain, chronic health issues. I mean, that is a long time to suffer. And how are you
Yeah.
doing today?
I'm fabulous. I'm actually healthy since about 6 years.
That's so great.
Thank you, Amen. What was the first question?
So when you got that nudge to leave, do you think that you were being directed to Dubai mainly to improve your health?
I think, no, it was never about me to come here. But in the second part, it's better for you. It was like a confirmation, all
Yeah.
this part. And also realizing this leadership of this town is like amazing. It's like they lead this town like an enterprise. When I was here the first time in 2017, I just grabbed every book about the leaders here to learn how they think, and I could things adapt to my own companies. It is really like we have a vision, we have a mission, we go for it, and everyone is invited to go with us and to do that. We are welcome when you are able to work, when you want to work or to bring money. You are just welcome, and they fire you up for your visions. And I felt that, and I felt really, even as a woman. Yes. So I had this bigger calling. It was not about me, but it was a good side effect and actually pushing me, right?
Yeah.
When I get the mission, it was to go global. And this was the second part after the English part, saying to God, are you sure that I'm capable to do that? Are you sure it's only me, right? And you, my child, you will go, you will see, it's okay. So this learn to stand to my spiritual gifts and learn to talk about them, even if I'm usually 5 or 10 years ahead and too early for the most people. Talk about it and to go for it and to feel I'm in my middle and I'm stand and I have my own back and I have God's back. And the mission is to go global and to connect with the other leaders, which also feel called. Because we are so many, like you and your audience and my audience, we are so many and we feel called to live our own purpose and to go for it and to express ourselves and to help with that and to build a new economy. I always had this picture from the old economy, helping women going over a bridge to the new economy. And there is energetics, there is digitalization, there is everything which is helping us to build big companies and enterprises, but not with hustle, but
Yes.
with ease and feminine energy and digitalization and all the stuff which is helping us too. And yes, point. That's it.
I love that. I think that's probably part of the point of the podcast, is that it wasn't like you had your ideal dream life and everything was perfect. You had dealt with health issues for over 30 years, and you're tuned in enough to recognize, I'm getting these very direct spiritual intuitions to leave my country, learn English, and take my soul mission global. Which, hello, that's not just one small thing. Like, here's a little intuitive nudge, here's 3 big ones, and get ready for it. And I loved how you were so honest about, are you sure? Are you sure you want me to do this? This sounds so big for me. And yes, every one of us is called to our own specific missions. Those missions can change over time. And how important it is that you wouldn't be called if you weren't qualified. And then it's up to us to rise. I used to think we transform ourselves, or we are transformed. And I see it now is we're unveiling the truth of who we are that we've hidden ourselves from, or that we haven't discovered. It's always been in there. And as we grow and get wiser and have more experience, we understand it more. But we really have to unveil that I'm capable of doing this. And then as I start stepping forward, the confidence grows. She left her country, learned English, and is growing a business in a country that is all about innovation, enterprise. I mean, it's amazing that you had the courage to do all of that. Not only were you brave in one area, you were brave in a number of areas, leaving everyone you know, not being sure about where you're going to live, taking your business to a whole different language. You could have stayed comfortable with the clients that you had, speaking the language that you spoke, and expanding your business. So talk a little bit about what you do now. You have a soul calling portal, and that you are helping people live their soul mission, helping leaders live their soul mission. So talk about how that developed and what that is.
I remember my first company was a dog school.
Which I love.
This came from my profession as a police officer in Zurich, and I had a police dog. I was canine Asian. And long story short, I canceled the job, and I could take over my dog.
Mm-hmm.
And this was touching because we were really strong and close. And I quickly got offers from colleagues or from friends of colleagues, because they knew I have another sense for dogs, and I could an offer to get workshops for evil dogs. And then I said to God, what's that about? And I had so much fun, and it was so good to do it with my dog together. Then I realized, okay, it's about this dog show school, and I didn't realize in the beginning that I do something odd in another way than others. I got the feedback because for me it was just normal that the dog is a mirror for us. And for me it was just normal that I communicate with him in a telepathy way. I send pictures and emotions of the result like we manifest. And I learned to get his picture, which is a little bit harder. I was normally the last station before they had to because they were biting and all the stuff. So this worked really fine, and my dog had fun to show other dogs things. And then I found the second dog. She was a really beautiful small female puppy, and she just adopted. She just watched my shepherd, and then she got it. She was so fast in learning. And she also got this telepathy thing, and she was always with me. And when I was in the bed, and I thought, oh, it would be great if she would come. And so I could caress her, and then she was here, and I could cuddle with her. And this was cute. Mm-hmm. And then we started to teach that to others, she and I. And we were on stages and showed that. And I gave workshops, but I taught people to do it with my dog and then with their own dog.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a very special dog school, and that was really in the whole German area. People came from all over the country to me to learn that, and this was really good. And after a few years, Spirit World and God told me, you must educate yourself now for business because we need you there. You must help people with their individuality to stand out in business so that they are in the right places, and human resources has not so much work anymore because people are coming and going too fast, and it costs so much money in economy, and people are angry, sad, and if they would live in their own abilities and purpose, this would be another thing. And I sold the school, and I educated myself as a business coach and as a coach to coach trainer, and all the stuff, presentation, management, and personal development in business, selling of also. With, I don't know if you know it, Dale Carnegie training. Carnegie wrote
Mm-hmm.
the book at that time, 1 century ago, How to Influence People and
Yes. How to Win
Don't
Friends
Worry.
and Yes. One of the
Yeah.
first books everybody should read. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
His
And I
story.
was in that company, a trainer 4 years, and I got all the educations. And this was so blessing because Carnegie teaches selling to not sell everything to everyone and with pressure and all the stuff. I hated that.
Mm-hmm.
And with this education, I learned to listen. I learned to ask and to listen. And this was so beautiful. It was so good for me. So, long story short, the first client which got a download from his soul through me was actually a client from dog school.
Wow.
He came to me after 2 or 3 years private coaching with his dog. And then he said, you know what? Since you are now in business coaching, I would like to join for business coaching. And my dog and I, we are good now. And he was my first official business coach client. And suddenly I got pictures how he is working with dogs and their owners. And I got really specific other pictures and how to do, and his environment, and his wife is also there and all the stuff. And I was so scared. I thought, I cannot tell that. It's from me and it's my imagination. But at that time, I already made an education as a medium. I already was 6 years through a professional education, and I was actually pretty confident about my perception. But this was the first time I got just a download from his soul.
Mm.
And I needed a few weeks to tell it to him.
Okay. Yeah. Slow down. I don't know if I want to tell this to him yet. Yes. Amazing. Well, that's
So
what you do is you are gifted downloads for people. Explain that a little bit.
I learned in the education as a medium that we have several sources when we perceive the psychic things or the mediumistic things or the invisible things, all the energy, right? And we have these senses, these clear senses, and we can perceive with the senses, like with the normal senses, the body senses. And there are also sources, like God is a source, like spirit world is a source, someone who is dead is a source, as an angel is a source, or a Saint Germain is another source, or a soul is another source. My soul is my source. She is quite here, right? That's my source. And then I realized when I got his pictures, this could not be my imagination because the source is from his crown. Yes,
Yeah.
I felt this energy from his crown, and then I told him that, and I realized, okay, it happened again and again, and always faster and faster. Also with other clients, just without asking, it happened just like that. But from their crown source, so I started to train that and to talk about that and ask, do you want to know that? I have energy and I have information from your soul, obviously. And I did it the same way I learned it with spiritual or dead people, meaning I describe what I perceive. I don't invent something, create something what my mind would find logical. Some information are not logical. They are just a picture or a color or whatever. But for they, it is. So I did that, and it got better, and people came for that. They wanted to know what their purpose is, because it was always about the purpose. It was always, this was in the beginning irritating, but I realized that I have that with situations and businesses too. Why are you laughing?
Because I was curious. You said in the beginning it was irritating. I started laughing because that was irritating. But it's the truth. We don't always love the information that we receive. Sometimes your gifts do not feel great. Other times, it's just like, really? Yes. Okay. So you'd not only been gifted, but that's what I love about you too, is that you sense into either I have a curiosity about this and you go and get trained in it, or you start to recognize I have a gift in this, and you take your gifts and you expand them with more and more training. So by the time a client comes to you, you're so solid in everything that you teach. I think for a lot of people, when they're first finding coaches, they want to know, does someone really know their stuff? You are so deep into your work. And now you've expanded into soul calling portal. Talk a little bit about that and your success factors. I was looking into those. Talk about those.
Well, that's coming with the mission, the big mission to global. And it's actually an adaptation from this perceiving the purpose. Because I did that about 10 years. They could hire me, but they had to believe me. They just had to believe what I got through. And when I could tell things which I could not know, which was like a proof, I was more and more frustrated, because I told the spirit world, I don't want that. Well, how about you give me a way so that people can perceive it on their own? And then just here like a nurse and a help birthing or something like that. And I really was confident about it, but I felt it's like a next step. And I never like the thought someone is needing me, you know? They can do it for their own. And so I got a teaching about a new program where I told my clients how to do it on their own, so that they are coming in their middle and connect with their own soul and asking the right questions and how to perceive the answers and what to do with that. So this was actually last 5 years my work to specialize the thing with AI. And you know it, I'm so in AI and digitalization and automation. And this year I started to program my own custom GPTs. And I thought, oh my God, I have so many written documents. I have so many feedbacks, and I documented for years. If I give that to a GPT and I tell him how to do that, how to lead the people in their own energy, source energy, how to give them the right place so that they can perceive their answers, and help them with that and with that to realize what is the next step. And I did that. I programmed it, and I realized it must be for free. It must be for free because it's my GPT and I care about. But everyone has its own connection, but only because they cannot learn it at school, how to perceive it. I earned good money with it before. And it's time for another stage. So I did that, and we are now it's a beautiful little community, 25 people, and some are already through and very happy. Some are already through and they need some birthing help. And then they can buy a coaching. I just had a beautiful client. She took then a VIP coaching for 3 weeks. And then we had this birth together, and she's so happy. You must see her. She's
Love that. I love that.
so good.
Because
Ready.
yeah, sometimes you can get the answers. So I want everyone who hears this to really understand. She has taken her gifts that she not only received and then fine-tuned over the years and used for a decade, she then expanded those gifts with all of her own training and practice and using them with clients. And now she took the time to take all of that education, all of that documentation, all these years of work, put it into a chat GPT, train the GPT how she wants it done, how it's supposed to be best for clients. And then now she has created this for free. Depending on when you actually see this, it could not be for free somewhere down the road. But as of right now, when we're creating this podcast and YouTube, she's been instructed to make this for free. And so you can connect with her and you can go in and you can learn to get these answers for yourself, to really truly understand your soul's calling connected with what you're supposed to do. And then, because for most of us, you can get that calling, but you don't know the next step. You don't know how to completely take that in and be like, oh, okay, this is what I do next. Well, sometimes it takes some extra courage. Sometimes it takes some motivation. Sometimes it takes some guidance. Sometimes it takes some fine-tuning the understanding. She does allow and create spaces for mentorship. But in all honesty, I'm sitting here thinking as you're talking, do I know of anyone who has taken their gifts and their talents, created a chat GPT and offered it for free? No, not one. I don't, as of right now, I don't know one person that has done that. I really think if you're hearing this, take the sense of urgency and go and use this, because this is magical. This is what everyone hopes for. This is why people go to psychics and mediums. And this is why we originally reach out to coaches or we seek out trainings, is because we're looking for something to guide us into the next step, or we're looking for the courage to take the next step. Sometimes you want the validation that what you're thinking is right. Sometimes you want the affirmation that I've heard this in my head, I feel this in my gut, but I don't have the courage to take it. She's offered you something that literally will confirm that for you. Or if you're completely lost and you don't know what to do, it's going to give you guidance and here's what you should be doing. And then if you need more support, she offers that. It's an amazing tool. And I can't believe you've offered that for free. And I think, yeah. And I love that the community is small. So you can come in there and you can feel right at home. This podcast could be out here for 2-3 years. It may be a big community from then, but there's something so beautiful about being there at the beginning and then feeling equal to everyone around you. We're all drawn there for the same reason, all curious about the same thing. Some are going to get it right away. Some are going to evolve with you. But that's what's beautiful about community, is you're gathering with people interested in the same thing and walking with them. And then she can mentor you through the things that you need. I love it. And I love how it lights you up when you talk about it too, because it's clearly for you, it's your purpose. And what I've also seen with myself, with my clients, and I'm sure you will agree, every time you get that intuitive nudge and you take that one step, then the next step lights up in front of you. I feel we're all on this path where sometimes it feels like we're walking in the darkness, but your faith and your intuition light up 1 to 2 steps ahead. It's not meant to light up the whole path. Sometimes we can get this big vision of what's far ahead, but we don't get every step along the way, because the courage and the confidence is built in the one step at a time. One step at a time. And you can't just think it, you have to act upon it. And then when you do, you become more of yourself. You understand yourself better, your confidence grows. And then God, source, the universe is light up the next step. She's ready. Light it up. Here we go. She's ready. She's going. She's on it. Okay, give her another nudge. Give her another nudge. She's going. She's got this. I love that you have created this. And what's fun for me is that you don't know all of the steps ahead, but you've proven consistently, if I have a nudge of intuition, I'm going to act upon it. So God, the universe, can trust that anything they give you, you're going to give and serve and do, and you're being blessed because of it. It's amazing.
I have never heard that, Dad. Thank you so much for telling me that.
I'm just mirroring back to you what you have created. It's amazing. So you have this community, which we'll make sure we put the links. So how can people find you if they're looking for you? What are the best ways to connect with you?
Depends on what people like, but I'm certainly on YouTube and on Instagram. I was for years on Facebook, also blogging and nurturing groups over there, but I changed that. I'm not on school, now on school with my communities, but I'm still as a private person on Facebook, but we can talk on Instagram. This is really good. People love it to write me their DM. So often it's very personal. Like I realized that the topic is sensitive. They don't want to talk in the comments.
Yes.
So they write me. This is the best way. Yes. Of course, the YouTube channel, I train it. I'm brave to speak English there.
You have beautiful English.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
mainly Instagram, YouTube, and then
Mm.
our community is on school. And then
Yes.
we'll make sure that we have the links for
Thank
how
you so
people
much.
come and find there and get involved with the community. So if you have a private question that you're not sure about asking in the community, or when you're first starting out, reach out to her on Instagram. If you do have a question, ask her, but then sometimes it is good to ask that question in the community because there's probably someone else who has thought the question and hasn't had the courage to ask it, or your asking the question will then allow them to ask the question that they've been afraid to ask too. So make sure that you do join that community, be with like-minded people, use that as a place to grow and support. And the other day, I was going through my phone and I realized how many of my online friends have I met in real life? I started counting them, looking through my pictures. And over the last 2.5 years, I've met 30 people in person that I would have never met anywhere else but in online communities. And I thought, what a gift that is. If you aren't joining communities, if you're not putting yourself in an environment where you can make these new friends, having online connection is amazing. You and I, we're across the world right now. We are across the world talking to you guys because we met in a mastermind. Hopefully, if you choose, you can meet people in person and you can have these real life connections with people that are thinking and behaving the same way, or they're completely different than you and your life is expanded because of that. I think it's such a beautiful thing that you're offering. Okay, before I ask you this, is there anything else that you feel inspired that you need to share for whoever might be listening?
I think the most important part when someone is thinking about what is my true purpose is to not be ashamed about that, because often we find ourselves, especially we women, we find ourselves on a place we really created a lot already. And we normally did it from our intuition or just doing the best what we could. Even if we were guided from the husband or parents or whatever. But not feel bad about ask for something new or something more real. And then also not to destroy this new before even we know more, because the head is telling us, I don't know how to do that. And what would my husband say and my parents? And just to trust and to go with just the next step. And that's exactly what we get. When we get the purpose, we cannot perceive too much. We cannot. And this is also important that we go then step by step further. And the most people I attract are female entrepreneurs. They really created already so much. Yeah. And sometimes it's about a new income stream. Sometimes it's about creating a company in the back which is working for them and not the other way around, and then caring about the new thing. Or in the same spot, we care about both. And it's always like a miracle. And even the business strategy is coming from the soul.
Yes.
This is so beautiful. You just have, you mentioned it, the group of like-minded people. It's like creating this vessel, this vase, this energy place where we have a resonance. And when we are more of them and trusting and feeling safe, then we create an more intensive energy of resonance. And it helps us to birth our own new stuff. And every time when I see someone is courage enough to go the steps, everything is going beautifully, even if there are hard times. And this is something which people must understand. When we ask for our purpose, it's not about having just a happy time and the best life. It's about realizing, okay, here is a beautiful, most enlightening soul creating and having an experience like as a human being, and it wants to perceive downs and hard stuff and going through and emerge from it and all the stuff. And what about learning to enjoy that in a sense of course I feel pain, of course I feel. When I was so sick, I had sometimes hours on the floor, on the cold floor of the bathroom, because I had so much cramps. But I learned that to feel my body and to realize this pain, but not to be it or not to believe I am wrong. I had to learn that. I would not survive that without learning that. And this is the same when we go through the purpose, realizing, okay, I get still up and downs, not only ups, also downs. And I also learn to deal with that, but creating a happiness either way.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Number one, trusting your intuition. Women and men, you are already gifted such a powerful intuition. That is the foundation of my work, is you have to fine tune listening to your intuition and then acting upon it. And like you were also saying, not making it wrong. You and I are living examples of living a very specific career and then shifting to something different, and then shifting to something different, and then shifting to something different. Most of mine have nothing to do with each other. Unless you've been around people that have done that or put yourself in environments where this is a normal thing, we judge ourselves. I remember for most of my life thinking something was wrong with me, that I couldn't commit to a career forever. And I would get so bored after a certain period of time. But what I didn't understand was my intuition led me to each step. I had done what I needed to do, and it was complete. And sometimes they will transition beautifully into the next step. Sometimes they won't. And sometimes in that void between who we were and who we are becoming or who we're unveiling, sometimes that's really hard. And you do need support. You need someone to be, no, you're on the right path. So we don't make what we've done wrong. We thank it. We look for the beautiful woman we've become because of it. And then we take that courageous step into the next one. That you also made sure to point out, it's not always easy and it's not always beautiful. You can't discover the full depth and the full spectrum of who you are if it doesn't get hard. Because in those hard times, when things are challenging, when they're painful, when they're confusing, that's where we really discover the depth of our resiliency, our character. If we've taken the teachings that we've learned in our lives and truly implemented them or embodied them. There's been a lot of times in my life where I'm like, oh, I learned that. I don't have a problem with that. That's who I am. And then you put me in a challenging situation and maybe I'm not as patient as I thought, or not as kind as I thought, or maybe I truly haven't developed that wherewithal, committed, devoted mindset to my mission. Trust that you take the intuitive nudge, you act on it, you get support, And as you start walking that path, sometimes those challenges come. And I believe the challenges show up to show you who you are and to also make sure you're truly committed to whatever your mission and your purpose is. It's
Mm.
not wrong. It's showing you what you're capable of. You're so right. Like some of the most important nuggets at the end. This is so amazing. And if all of this is speaking to you and you want some support, she's the one to go to. She's lived it. If it's brand new and you have no idea what to do next, she's the one who's lived it. Go and speak with her. Find her. She's there for you. And she's got tools. Not only does she have guidance, proven guidance from her own insight that she's received, but she has tools to help you with it. And that's what everyone is looking for. How do I do this? I don't know how to do it. I want to be brave. I want to take that next step. I want to go into the expanded version of myself, but I'm not sure how. She's created it for you. She's lived it and she's created it. I love this so much. This has been beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd love to ask people at the very end, considering the woman that you've been, the woman you are today, and what you feel for the future, how would you end the sentence, I am the one who?
I am the one who helps others who feel called from their true purpose to fulfill their most desired life.
You are. And I love that because that's what we all want. We all want to know we're living a life of purpose. And we want that purpose to make us feel fulfilled. And we would like our fulfillment to also include a lot of money so we can live a wonderful, beautiful life. She's created actual things to help you with that. She knows how to guide you and she has the tools to support you in that. I love that your story has led to this. And I love that you have been so generous in creating this for people in a way that makes it absolutely accessible for everyone because it's free. And
Thank you.
even if someday you come across this as it's not free, you can find the money for it. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful that we got to know each other better. I'm really excited for people to hear this. And we are grateful to have had you here on the One Podcast. I will make sure that all the links are below, whether it's on the podcast or the YouTube. And let us know any feedback. If you go and you sign up, let her know and let us know how you found her. And then we look forward to meeting up with you guys again on the One Podcast. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.